Am I back is the question. Let's see if I am back. I've got my iPad separate from this crap. Let's see how bad the delay is.
Alright, what the hell's going on with Spider-Man? He's not gonna be...
Oh, Christian Harloff. Let's see. I've got my iPad separate from this crap. Alright, we're good now. Good night. How embarrassing was that? Ugh. You cannot trust anything anymore. Well, now that we have an idea of what we're going to build, now that I wasted an hour and a half of my life setting this up, and it's still not even working correctly because my broadcast mix isn't mixing. Anyways, hi everybody. It's JPT. I'm back. I hope there's audio. I had to hide that other video because it's embarrassing. And then the video had a bunch of crap that pulled up, like, details that I didn't want you to see. So no one will ever see that video. It's going to get deleted as soon as I'm done with this. Oy vey. That's the danger of having stuff pulled up in a window that you don't want other people seeing. So we're going to pull that window over here because I think essentially the upper right screen, which is what we were looking at before here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is a building that I was looking at replicating. And that should be the only thing in that window. All right, we're going to close that. Anywho, so that's where that is. And then we had Google Earth. So the building you were just looking at is this building here, Grand Hall at the Pennsylvanian, followed by the U.S. Marshal Service here with a courthouse. Got some towers here. Essentially, I'm starting to realize that my city that I'm building is very Midwestern, more so East Coast, sort of a Chicago, Pittsburgh, Maryland, like stuff in that. If you just kind of drew a line, a big swath between Chicago and the Bethesda area, that seems like the vibe that we're getting. I don't trust that this isn't working again, so I'm gonna just... Okay, there's audio there. I'm just gonna need to trust and move forward. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm no longer AFK. You're right. I am no longer AFK. Anyways, there's a lot of good stuff here. There's this Greyhound station. There's this building here. That's this one for sure is going to get built. There's a convention center here. I'm realizing that I've been to this area before because I've been to both of these stadiums up here. This is the stadium from The Dark Knight Rises, because a lot of Pittsburgh and Chicago were used for the Batman films for Gotham City. This is a very cool building. I like the vibes. It looks purple almost. This seems to be the tallest building in Pittsburgh as far as I could tell from Google Earth. I don't want to push it too much. I wouldn't mind building something similar. It's triangular, which is a very unique building design. I haven't seen that very often. And essentially, why we're looking at this stuff is because build what you know. That's my new motto moving forward with this channel, with my streams. I've kind of been thinking about what that model looks like in terms of when I stream, how I stream, what I record, what I put up on my actual channel. I could see myself recording or streaming a lot more with very little audio, with very little microphones, or maybe not. Maybe that could evolve. Essentially, I think what I want to do is I want to stream more video less. And I think what it's going to come down to is essentially recording recaps of builds that I've done either off camera or essentially what it comes down to is I don't have time to make flashy videos. But I do want to share this stuff with you guys, is what it comes down to. So I've been doing a ton of building off camera, offline, off the channel for the last year and a half. Essentially, the view you have right now did not exist since my last video, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the marina video. Yeah. Sort of this, or not even the marina video. Gosh, it would have been the moving the pier, I think. Let's just go to videos. Yes, it was this. I did this with the curve builder. I did move that. The video before that was the bridge, and then the marina. And let's be honest, those weren't insanely popular videos. And that's fine. I'm not here to record videos for the masses. I'm here to do it for myself and my kids, my boys. Because eventually, when I'm not here or as they get older, it's something that I want to share with them, and I want to bring them into it if they want. Like if they want to come in here and respectfully build stuff with me, alongside me, let's go. Let's do it. So it's just a matter of getting them on board with that and letting them be responsible. It could even just be to the point where I tell them to build something, and if I don't like it, it gets out of here. Or they build stuff and we use schematics to bring it into this world respectfully so that they don't inadvertently do something that they'll regret. So essentially what I could do is I could come in and I could say, hey, this is your, let's see. Oh, it's not going to let me do that from this far away. Basically come in and be like, yo, this is your area. Copy that, dump it into their world, whatever, their creative world, and they go from there. Because essentially that's just all it is just big blocks. And we could work on it together, and then we could import it into here, and it would be probably a better process than them giving them essentially destructive power to ruin the hard work that I've put in so far, right? I gotta be respectful to my own process, but I also want to be respectful of them as creators as they get older as well. So if they want to be a part of it, great. If they don't, that's fine as well. I'm not gonna, cry over it. But essentially, the name of this place being Heritage, there's meaning to that. And, they're starting to get older to the point where I think they could be responsible to help out with that. Bam. And let's see, let's do this, and there we go. Yeah. Starting to realize more and more that, actually, you know what? We're just going to expand this. We're going to embrace the chaos. Oops. Let's see. Get rid of this. Open hand. There we go. You can do the same thing on the other side. Nope, actually no lumps over here. But I do still want to expand that. So yeah, basically I just wasted an hour and a half plus talking to myself, which is essentially what I've been doing anyways. But now there's the possibility that people will actually see or hear me. Let's leave that the way it is for now. And that one can stay that way. Oh, wait, no, gotta fix that. So I am not saying I'm back. That's essentially the whole point of this. I'm not back, but I'm not here, if that makes sense. Oh, I don't want to do that on every single one of these, even though that is the vibe. Wolf. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm not going to sit here and do that on every single one of these. But yeah, that's essentially the thoughts that I've had. I travel still a lot for work, but when I'm home, I could be doing streams. I think what I want to do is I want to commit myself to at least one super long stream a week that I'm home, and then stream just when I feel like it, when I'm doing things, and then possibly recording recaps when I'm on the road, but that just gets complicated because then I have to travel with a microphone and a stand and blah blah blah, and I just like do I really want to do that? Probably not. But I have enough stuff here that if I wanted to kind of showcase these builds and talk through it, I have enough to last me quite some time. Because I could probably record something that is super long and would cover all the bases of all the new buildings. So let's see, can I... Yeah, this does actually go faster. So just so if you're watching this later on, new buildings include this entire city block, which is based on a place in Bethesda, Maryland. This, which is the old Cook County Hospital in Chicago, which is now a hotel. This entire city block, which is based on a city block in Hollywood, California. This apartment building, which is just a generic apartment building. All of these beach houses, which are mimicked after building plans that I found online. And I feel like there's one more thing that's fairly new, but I don't know if that's true or not. No, I think that's basically everything. So it's so funny when you come, like when I get out to this view, every time I get out to this view, I'm like, there is still so much to do. There's still so much to do. I see gaps, like obviously you see like these big gaps, but it's just like, oh my gosh, the plans that I had going out that direction. I have a road to nowhere there. I have a highway to nowhere there. That needs to kind of curve that direction because it needs to go not to where the airport is. There's that road to nowhere. There's that bridge to nowhere. Like that's supposed to be a whole thing. I don't know. The more I see this, the more I don't like. It's very square, and that just doesn't feel natural. It needs to sweep. It needs to do more of a sweep. So that could be a whole thing in itself too, a whole stream on its own. Obviously, I've got these big gaps here where there could be houses and stuff. Like you can kind of see these newer dead or dry grass blocks. You know, I've gone through and done that. I use Axiom now, which I'm learning day after day. There's still plenty to chew on there. I see like this building taking up this entire city block is insanity to me. And when you zoom out like this, you're just like, wow, that's not a lot. But then it's like, no, let's go down to ground level. Like, this is a massive building. Woo. Let me turn that off. This is a massive building with a certain number of hotel rooms. I haven't actually counted the hotel rooms, but like you can kind of go in between and see all the different rooms. There are a lot of rooms. You know, so like on this floor alone, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25. So there's 25 on just that floor alone. So there's probably over 100 rooms in this hotel. Do I need to put stuff in every single one of them? No. Should I? Probably. Again, another thing for another day if I feel froggy. I'm not an interiors guy. As much as I'd like to be an interiors guy, it's just not going to happen. I've got other things to work on. I do feel inclined to make the rooms individual like this as much as I can with, you know, like would be a bathroom, I suppose. I don't even have doors here. Like, clearly I have doors on all these other floors. Why don't I have doors on this level? It is what it is. Those are things that I can do off camera. Those aren't things that we necessarily need to knock out here today. But it is what it is. So my new mantra, build what you know. Essentially what that means is if I see a picture of something, if I go somewhere, I saw a picture of this building on Reddit and I was like, I love the way that building looks. I should look more into it. Looked it up on Google Earth, did some Google Street View stuff, and I was like, yeah, we can do this. Boom, roasted, got it. Not sure how I said that way. I literally did work in this church. I put in a new PA at this church. And I was like, I really like the way this city block is. Built it. I built the whole dang thing. And I did. I have physically walked around this entire city block in person to the point where I felt comfortable using Street View. I think this was even before I used Google Maps or Google Earth. I don't think I used Google Earth for this one. But, you know, it's as close as we're going to get. So, like, I have a picture of me standing with this view. And so I was able to get pretty close. The ceiling and everything. So I feel pretty confident about this. Like, this is the front of house booth that they put in because we put in their new speakers. We put speakers here and here. And I believe we had delays, which were about, I think they were right here. There was one here and there was one here to cover the rest of the room. And I've been in their basement. Their basement doesn't look like this, but I could build it if I wanted to. Well, we're not going to do that. So I think it just feels better to build something that you have seen or can see. And so utilizing those tools is something that I'm going to lean into quite a bit. And so I need to find ways of, like, what I'm looking at on my 4 monitors that I have set up in my office. I want to be able to put that sort of in, like, the lower, let's say the lower right or whatever, so that you guys have an idea at least of what I'm trying to replicate, what I'm currently looking at, and then putting that on screen. So I just haven't had a lot of time to look at that, but just so you know, that's where I'm at this first 20 minutes of this stream. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say because I said so much for that first hour and nobody was hearing me. Took a little water break there. I'm actually going to run upstairs and check on something real quick. I'm making some chili for myself since I'm the only one in the house. And I'm about the only person in this house that likes chili. And so I'm going to go check on that, stretch my legs, and be all right. I'm back. Alright, I'm back. This weird string on my t-shirt that I need to cut off. It's really distracting. Can I do this without cutting my arm off? Ooh. Yep. I sampled that chili. It was very hot, but it is on its way to being delicious. Probably make some rice, some jasmine rice, throw it on there. It's gonna last me all next week. It's that time of year. Anytime like the weather starts changing, my body's like, I need chili. Give me that chili. I'm looking in my Discord. It's the Return of the King. How I felt when I saw that JPT YouTube notification. I love that. The first hour did not. Oh, that made me feel like a noob. You know what? I'm going to mute this entire server. Not mine. Just another one. Now with audio. Let's see. What's really weird is that it says you don't have permission to view this page, like the live control panel inside of OBS. Not sure why that is. I don't know, because the way my YouTube channel is set up, it's under another account, but the account has access to the page, like it's very grandfathered in. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I need to write down. Excuse me. I need to write down. I'm distracted. Need to write down what I'm going to work on. So I need to work on scene transitions. I don't know what happened to them on my Stream Deck. Let me just see if I can fix those real quick, because those are going to be a lot easier to switch between. Ooh, on my Stream Deck software. I should probably just be using Companion. Says, oh, interesting. So it is. Got it. So I bet it's the Stream Deck software in OBS, since OBS updated. I bet it's not able to connect to OBS the way it used to. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Okay, so let me drop that one in. Are you guys gonna play nice? It says waiting for OBS. So it could very well just be outdated software on my end. Check for updates. Oh, wow. That is... Let's just do it live. Let's see if I can update my Stream Deck without causing the stream to burst into flames. I bet that's what it is. So my OBS installation was 5 versions behind. Or 7. It's 5 to 7. I didn't quite get the number, but I was just like, oh no, this is bad. Like, this just tells me that I have not done this in over a year. Oh, cool. The following applications are using files that need to be updated by this setup. Do not close applications. A reboot will be required. I do not want to close OBS, please. That's something that I'm not interested in doing today. Very cool. So let's not shut the stream down. Boy, it really wants to shut down OBS. So if the stream goes offline, you know why. We'll just blame the Stream Deck. Removing files. Shutting down. No, let's not do that. Wow, that's taking way longer than it needs to. Come on, computer. Let's go! That's my phone. Very nice. Yeah, every time I click on it, it's trying really, really hard. It says waiting for OBS. I would show this, but I know inadvertently I would show you something that you should not be seeing. Or something I don't want to be seeing. Let's see, scene. Yeah, I think I just need to... I can do this later. So that's on my to-do list. Scene switches. Because I have everything else. But it's also still not working the way it should. It's all very upset, so... It is what it is. That's on my laundry list. Things to do when we're offline. Okay, so what can we do today? We've got this patch of something, but essentially what we're looking at probably isn't going to work, so... Oh, you know what? There was something else that I was working on. Oh, I worked on this. That's what it was. I knew I had worked on the Capitol building. I had worked on these being entrances to the underground parking garage, and then originally... Ooh. Interesting. I don't remember doing that. These were like ramps to go up in a vehicle out to here, but that just didn't... It just seemed weird to me. So these are human entryways to get down into there. Do I still have the entryway here? Yes, I do. Okay. So this goes up, and then this goes up, and then this comes into this room. Yeah, there's still so much work I need to do inside here. As you can see, like, this is just a... Like, you can kind of see the layout. This giant gaping hole. Like, this whole building just needs a lot of help. But from the outside, it looks great. Looks great, but yeah, you can tell it needs a lot of TLC, and I've just not given it the time that I want. Also, same thing with like this. Like, there's just nothing in here. This is supposed to be an art museum, and there's no art whatsoever. So, I think I also worked on... When I did this, I did an upgrade... Yeah, I kind of worked on this a little bit as well. But, like, there's an entire parking garage over here. Check this one out. Look at this. Look at this. That's a big old parking garage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. So that's a big parking garage. Look how much room we have for activities and vehicles. We even have the ramp that goes up, and then goes down, and then goes down. And you turn, and you go down. And your kids get sick and they throw up and you keep going down. But then there's also this exit here for this hotel. I think these are apartments. I think that's what I landed on. These are going to eventually be apartments. So again, this is a building. This is a whole square block based on Maryland. Bethesda, Maryland. Which is why it looks so good. I'm going to say good. Because it's based on something in real life. The interiors are based on just whatever I decided they were going to be. So, like, this is going into this parking garage. Excuse me. So, like, for instance, when you come up here, you know, this is some supposed restaurant of some sort. This is an entrance to a movie theater, which is why there are things like that. This is an entrance into that parking garage. I gotta slow down. There we go. Oh gosh. So there is a theater entrance here, which I still need to work on. And there is a theater entrance here, which you can see I need to work on. And through here, you know, this is going to be some sort of like bar. This is I think this is a Gap. The Gap is what this is based on. This is an office building, so when you go inside and you go up the elevators, it just takes you into one of these office buildings. Stairwells, you know, for the realism, that kind of thing. I haven't decided what this is going to be or how you even get into it. I think this is going to be some sort of restaurant. This is a clothing store with a Dance Dance Revolution floor, apparently. You can kind of just tell how I jumped around a little bit. Restaurant, entrance, business, bank, I think. Bank is there. So, you know, you kind of have to, like, when you build what you know, unless you can get inside that building, or if you've been inside that building, you just got to guess what's in there. So a lot of this is just lower level businesses with stuff on top. So again, these will be apartments. This will either be hotel or, so actually, you know what I could do? Part of this building could be hotel, and the back part of it could be apartments. I don't know if I was mentioning this during the audio portion of this stream, but I tried to embrace diagonal, like a diagonal build. I tried to embrace some chaos because this was kind of an L-shaped build, and I kind of had to right angle it at some point, but then the rest of it had to be at that. So this is my attempt at that. This is my attempt at making it interesting to look at, and hopefully it is, with some small patios on the side. Every time I make chili, by the way, I don't know what it is about the chili. It's not the spices, because that's not hot at all. I think it's just I think it's the acidity of the tomato. It like doesn't kill my taste buds, but it like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I took one little sample and I can already feel a little bit of my taste buds kind of just like wearing off. I can't. That's not a real thing. I don't know. There's the acidity of the chili is like the roof of my mouth is going to be raw, which is a weird word, but like, I don't know. And the funny thing is like, I love the chili so much that I just want to keep eating it, but I just end up doing more damage to myself. So I just need to be mindful of that. I don't know. It's just something about the way I make chili does that. Whereas when I eat other people's chili, it doesn't. So I don't know. It's a me problem, not a you problem. So what's really interesting is that this building in Maryland also has this sort of mosaic of sorts. So I kind of try to make it, I think what it's supposed to be like a violin or like a cello or something. So that's kind of what this is. I don't know. It's very abstract, and that's the way I'm going to keep it. So that's what we did there. And then I built this. This is literally the last thing I built, and I was like, I should have streamed this whole process. That would have been a lot easier. And of course, now I'm trying to figure out what's next. We've got this big swath of land. I want to do a convention center, multiple buildings, kind of just like cobbled together. I haven't quite found a great example of that yet. This one little city block that I'm looking at in Google Earth, though, there's a lot of really interesting buildings there. The issue, though, is that I was never intending for this side of the interstate or the highway to be buildings of this capacity. I always envisioned that this existed, and then basically, like, if you look at the build height of everything, I still don't think we've actually achieved, despite having, like, I have fought this idea a number of times. Like, this is old downtown, and we're going to have a new downtown somewhere. but I never thought it was going to be here. I'm not married to this gas station being here. And so what we could do is we could... This airport is so close is the problem. Although the runways are pretty far away. So it's actually not as close as it feels. We would have to basically make like a hard... Like new downtown would be so small is the problem. And so I don't think that is what I want to do. I really think new downtown is going to be in this area. I really think we're going to be pushing... What direction am I? Facing east. So we're going to be going northeast. And... Yeah, because that's north. Yeah. So we're going to be going northeast. So like a new downtown area is most likely going to be over here. And honestly, I haven't even rendered this all in. Because where you see all this birch tree, was supposed to be like a park. This might kill the stream a little bit. 'Cause I have to render these chunks in. Because I'm using Bobby, so... yeah, so we have this old stable here. This horse stable. Which is one of my bases. When I was doing everything in survival, you can kind of see here that I was keeping all the mobs out with this. And there was my... This is so funny to go back and look at. Okay, so there's nothing in that chest. Was I using... Yeah, okay. Yep. So I had a chest there and a chest there. And then I had... Are there still even horses? Wow, there's still horses in here. Very cool. Oh, there's just the one. Oh, maybe I just had the one. Yeah, so this actually looks pretty decent. I'm pretty happy the way that looks. So you can just see here. See how like everything is like very... It's almost like there was like a regulation that like buildings could only be so high, or structurally they could only ever build buildings so high and they never wanted to go any higher. Because I think the tallest building that I have is this one, this newer one. And so it looks kind of funky, right? And so my thinking is that all of our like crazy Chongus downtown buildings, this is just gonna flash a bunch. Actually, you know what? Let's push the limit. Yeah, it's gonna have to render all these chunks back in. Yeah, so like obviously you wouldn't want to fly a plane with this. Oh, how are there animals? I told the server not to put animals in here. Whatever. That's a me problem. Yeah, so these are chunks that... Boom. Seems like the stream's still pretty happy though. Because this is on my server, this isn't on my computer. So that's the other thing too, is that this is on a private server. And so my server's getting like smacked in the face right now to load these chunks. Versus it used to be my computer that was loading these chunks. Ooh. This is new. Got fire protection, thorns, got some lodestones. Yeah. Spam again? No. I gotta take this real quick. BRB. BRB. Alright, I'm back. Figured I could multitask, load those chunks in, and also be on the phone. So yeah, I'm seeing some areas that I'm wanting to embrace the water as much as I can. So I don't know. Obviously you saw like the village, wherever that is. Yeah, the village is there. That stuff's gonna go away. I don't know why it keeps trying to put animals in this world. It's not supposed to put animals in, so I need to look. No mob spawns. Command Minecraft. Yeah, I don't know if that's game rule to mob spawning. Yeah, it's weird that it didn't. It's kill all friendly mobs. Oh, interesting. Can I kill everything? Oof, this is gonna be rough. Llama. Nice. Get out of here. I killed all mobs but me. Yeah, so I'm zooming around a little bit. This is a cool view of the city though. I don't hate the way that looks. But it just informs me that this whole farm thing is going to have to go further out somewhere. So maybe that's what this that's what this stream ends up becoming, is just sort of a planning stream as we allow my cheap $5 server to catch up with the old chunks. Come on. It's probably redlining right now. I need to look at it to see how bad it's doing. Oh, I can't even remember what the name of the service is. That's pretty bad. Get into the panel, see how bad things are running. Yeah, see, like this should be... Because what I'll be able to do now is, after I render this in, I'll be able to export this onto like a 2D map that I can look at. On like my iPad or something. Not next week, but the week after. I'm traveling, and so I'll probably utilize a lot of that time to figure out what I'm doing. Let's see what the console's doing. What the console's showing. Oh yeah, the CPU load it's bouncing between 82% and like 300. And I bet they're like, you're not paying for this. Uh-oh. Do I need to kill some mobs? It's weird that it's still spawning. It's still spawning entities, which is really weird because it should not be doing that at all. Death from above. Ooh, cool, a mesa. I've been wanting to do like a amusement park that's Western themed. So maybe that's what we can do here. That'd be kind of cool. Oh boy. Things are not happy. This is a mix of my computer and the server just not shaking hands very well. As soon as I stop, it's gonna render in. It's really something I should have been doing off camera. Because this is basically rendering brand new chunks. In 121. So I don't know if that's actually a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think the most recent one is gonna change how much it renders. Oh, you're welcome. The applause is very distracting in that song. Let's see. Oof. When it flashes white like that, it's so distracting. Just render. Because what it's basically doing is it's flashing between my local cache and the server. Because it basically is what allows me to my local cache is what's allowing me to look all the way over to the airport there. Okay, so the mass amount of land we have is obvious. It's this jungle that's here. So there is a possibility, instead of going that direction, because as we saw that direction, there's not a lot of anything. Perhaps what the heck is that? Why is there a massive black spot there? I swear. Oh, it's just a render bug. Of course, that's all jacked up too. That perhaps, now that we're seeing it, gosh, I love that there used to be a lighthouse here, but man, the vibe is just, the height of this does not match the overall rest of the vibe of this area. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to buzz this down, despite you can see so much detail work that I did in the past. But it's feeling like this area here, this big piece of land, because there's this map, this seed apparently still just has a lot of rivers, which is cool because, you know, areas like Pittsburgh that we're looking at have that as well. Oh, here's another village. Yeah, get out of my life. I killed 105 things just then, according to my back end. There was 105 things living down there. Or at least since we ran that command. Yeah, see? Wait, all those things died except the panda. Weird. It's weird how it's being very selective about what it's deciding to get rid of. Yeah, I don't know why it's spawning mobs. It's really weird. I'll look at my file manager real quick. It's a properties file. Oh, what was the command we were running? Do mob spawning. I don't know. Because it's in creative. Hardcore, no. Difficulty is peaceful. So I don't know. I'll need to look more into that. So I need to add that to the list. No mobs. Because that's distracting. It's cool to be able to like come out this far and see the city from this distance, which again tells me that we have ways to go. But it's also informing me that I think the new downtown area needs to be south of old downtown. Because what I want to do is I want to stay true to the... I want to stay as true as I can to the landscape. But I can vertically go down. You know, like, I want to stay true to all of this. But as you can see, like, obviously the elevation is changing a bunch, and so that will have to change. But, like, you know, obviously, like, if we wanted to maintain all this water, we could do that, but most likely ground level would be more so here, which means all this land would have to go. Which is fine. It's just going to take a lot of terraforming. Yeah, like, that would have to go. Easy peasy. But what it's also informing me is that there's going to need to be a number of bridges to get across. So, like, you know, this would be a sort of a log jam. To me, this feels like almost a warrant for a bridge to come across here, or even better, you know, to actually utilize this piece of land to come this way with a bridge. Those are just things that I'm going to have to look at. Like, this still looks so strange to me because it's sand, because that's where the pier used to be, but it's not there anymore. You know, so there's going to need to be a lot of different things. And maybe this could still be, I don't know, there's not enough. It's all this stuff is very distracting. Like, what's going on here? This would be a very, very cool thing to fly through with an elytra. Oh, wow. More mobs. Death. Be gone, sheep. Almost wonder if I need to install a mod to make that happier. Well, clearly it's not remembering all of these chunks that I've loaded in because I've already seen all of this. Bye. Or maybe I haven't. Am I loading? Oh, maybe I am loading new chunks in. Oh, turtles. Bye. Yikes. Because at one point there used to be like this huge ice shelf just to the north of the airport. But with this new version of Minecraft, because basically what I did was when I upgraded, I went in and only kept chunks that I had actively built something on. And so I don't know if I come up this way, if I come up further north, if we're actually going to see... Yeah, see? So there's ice there. So the map is still thinking that it's going to be colder. Yeah, see how we have all these icebergs and stuff? Not the best look next to your airport. So we'll likely have to change that, which is fine. And none of this looks any different. Gosh. So many mobs. I don't know why it's doing that. I told it not to. I tell it not to all the time. Just don't want mobs. Sorry. Because this is a whole nother part of the load in. Yeah, see, there's just this like massive hole in the middle where the server and my computer are not shaking hands very well. Load. I have to look down for it to load. It's kind of crazy. Load. Like bobbing my head. Bam. Load. Same thing here for this Bay Area. Took one little bite of that chili and my nose is running. It's not hot. It's just beans and tomato sauce. A few other things, but it's not spicy. Okay. So that informs us a little bit. basically the airport. Yeah, see, like that's so distracting. I may have to actually just change that biome altogether. I'll just delete the icebergs. So yeah, this will be industrial. Probably more. There might actually, what we might do is we might actually put another few services for the airport. Like another hotel and stuff like that. Because there's a hotel here. This will be kind of industrial services, kind of adjacent to the airport. There really isn't a lot of land. That's the thing. There's not a lot of land north of this stuff here. And so really, it's really kind of spotty. So what we may end up just do, you know, so for instance, like we may just fill this in, right? Like we may just put dirt over it. Because like if you go under the airport, it's very much just floating above the water. Let's see if we can. Yeah. Yeah, see how it's just above the water. Just to make it flat, because, you know, airports have to be flat. Otherwise, they don't work very well. And so that's what we could do, is, you know, fill in a lot of these areas. Like all of this water could go away. Because we don't need that many lakes. So this could be a pretty significant amount to expand towards. But I do at some point want like country. Like I want some country farms and stuff like that. So I don't know where that's going to end up being, because it just doesn't feel like there's enough land to make that happy. What is happening here? Holy moly. This is cool as all get out. Wow. Again, nothing that just going can't handle. It'd have to be at sea level, though. Oh, look at the bees. The bees dead. Get out. If the bees were smaller, I actually don't know if I wouldn't mind them as much. But like clearly this has to go. Yeah, so there's a lot of terraforming to do. And I'm debating on keeping, I think this waterway is going to have to go too. So there is plenty of land northeast of the city. So maybe new downtown could still happen over here, but it does sure feel like it's informing itself to be over there instead. So, because every building, every neighborhood tells a story. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Like all of this here could be relocated for all I care. Like these houses just aren't telling the story that I had originally intended, whereas like these houses kind of are, but there aren't enough of them. So the question being, do these sort of blend into these? We'll get rid of this water. You know, does this interstate come up and probably go this way and do just a big loop, and then eventually like loop into that area there, and then all this becomes industrial? Most likely because it's closer to the airport. And who wants to live near the airport? You have cheaper housing, industrial areas, warehouses, excuse me, that kind of thing. Access to the interstate, all that and more. So that's most likely what's going to happen, is northeast of town is going to become industrial. I can always save these schematics. I'm really happy with the way these houses are. They just don't need to be here. So all of this can be our industrial section, is kind of what my brain is thinking. More suburbia out that way. More new downtown here. The issue now is that how do we blend from, you know, this height and kind of go down to sea level? And so again, convention center makes sense here because it's so much closer to the airport. It's got highway access, give or take. You know, you can get off here go there. You know, you've got a hotel here. You've got a parking garage there. There will be probably another big hotel here, another one over here with a shuttle service, maybe a tram service to this area. So I have a feeling this whole city block is going to need to be some sort of sorry, I'm pulling up my console again. Some sort of area. This needs to be something like that's the thing, is just sitting down and actually figuring out and planning and making things make sense so that I'm just not constantly like moving things. This gas station, I forgot I even had it because I was like, wait, there used to be a gas station that was over here. And I thought, what did I do with that thing? No, I saved it as a schematic. So then I plopped it back there. And so that's the other thing too, is like your city services. In terms of gas stations, there's one there. There's one here. There's one here. And there's one there. There probably needs to be one in the marina. Probably going to put one like over here or over there, because obviously you'd still need gas for your boats. And so really, there is the argument that this park might need to be reduced. I don't know, like the birch trees really make it seem like that is where the park would be. And so maybe that's just what we do. We just embrace that part of it. There might be another, no, there's that one there. I think that's it. So it's obviously like thinking through that as well. Like where would a gas station make sense? Where would restaurants make sense? Like, you know, you got a McDonald's there that services this art museum. You know, where do you go? Where do you go from here? So, you know, this gas station is here solely because it serves being where you could come off the interstate, get gas, get back, and keep going and be on your way. Because you surely wouldn't get off to get gas here. You would go out of your way to go here because it's right off the highway or the interstate. Whereas this one is more of a local thing. It's servicing, you know, this area, this apartment complex, these houses, all this neighborhood. And so really you could argue that instead of it being there, you could really, because it's so close to that marina, I could relocate it here, but then you already have the one here. So like, why would you go out of your way to do that? So that's kind of the argument that I deal with constantly is, you know, do I want it here? Do I want it there? Do I want it everywhere? That kind of thing. My wife, so I was talking to my wife on the phone. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm streaming. She's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just streaming, like Minecraft. She's like, oh, I didn't think you did that anymore. I was like, I don't. I don't do that anymore. Which is why it's a surprise to both of us. It was funny. And of course, then you have these strip malls, these little strip buildings here. You know, this could also be a convenience store, not a gas station, but a convenience store that could service this with, you know, all sorts of other services that not only service people coming and going from this hospital, but also this neighborhood. So that's what it's informing me, is that I don't think people with these fancy tech houses would live literally right next to the airport. They spent too much money to live here. So these houses over here, over by the marina, make way more sense. So I get the vibe that that's going to change. Ooh, I'm getting some skipped frames. Let's see what I can close. I think if I build a new computer, I'll keep this. I don't know. I think what I want to do is I want to do like a mini ATX or ITX or whatever it is, like just a miniature computer that all it does is encode streams. That way I can just sit on my desk, receive an output, and do all the things. And then I can get away from this audio setup too, because I hate it. I like it, but I hate it. I hate how hard it is to set up, and I hate how hard... Like, I would much rather just mix all of my sources through a console, hear what I'm hearing, and then you guys get whatever you're getting. The only difference is that the reason why I have my broadcast set up the way it is so... Oh yeah, there's a gas station there. Is so like I could render these videos without audio, like the music that I'm playing. But now that I'm playing royalty-free stuff, hopefully it won't be a problem. Yeah, I'm noticing some lag here. So something's running in the background that's not happy. And in all honesty, I'm starting to hit a wall. Because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've talked this long. Because this will be about 3 hours. Yeah, it's weird that I'm getting some skip frames and I'm not moving. Another reason to have a computer to do something else. But that would be a big ask of me. Is I'd have to be doing this consistently enough to really justify that. I mean, so I have my two boys have their own computers. I have my old computer before the one I'm on now that would be perfectly viable to output to the world. So I may just end up doing that as like an experiment. Just run an output from here over to that, basically split whatever signal that I'm seeing on this here over to that computer, and then just use it as a encoder. So yeah, I think basically what I'm going to do now, I might even do this tomorrow, is formulate a plan where I stream, and whatever comes out of those streams, I do recaps. Whether that's weekly, or monthly, or per build. So like, it would make sense that like, oh cool, we did this, and I'm just going to start talking about it, and I'm going to show you a picture of it in real life, and I'm going to talk about it, and do all the things, and then be done. And then I'm going to move on to the next one, and show you pictures of this, and do all the things, and be done. Like, I don't, like, when I did that bridge, I was like doing replays and all that stuff. It's just not who I am anymore. It's not really, honestly, it's not really who I wanted to be. It's just, I would much rather develop a community of people who come in and out and be like, oh, what are you working on? Oh, I'm working on this. This is what it is. Oh, cool. Have you seen this before? Do you think you could put this in your world? Yeah, let me think about it. Let's zoom around a little bit. Because essentially what happens is when this channel was a lot more popular back in the day, people would be like, what are you working on? Oh, can you zoom out? And can you go around? And so then I'd end up being like the tour guide showing basically what I've done today, which is ironic. And it gets exhausting because you never get anything done. My most popular video is this baseball field. And when I look at it, I'm like, you know, you can see here that I was trying to put some life into it, trying to figure out like if it made sense to come up with a team name and stuff like that and do all the things. And you can kind of see that I was playing with kind of doing every other, which I think I'm still going to do. But like this needs a whole different revamp. And then like if you go in the dugouts, there ain't nothing back here. There's work to do. Oh yeah, look, when I was doing this in survival. Oh, look at all the things. How ironic. There was a time when I did all this. Did I? What in the world? What's happening here? Why is there glass out here? That's random. Huh. Strange. But this is still the most popular video on my channel, and it's not that impressive. It is, but it isn't. Like, to me, it's just like, I feel like I've done... This thing's starting to get laggy. I feel like I've done more important things than this. But what I love is that it's literally... Yeah, wow. Computer's not happy right now. It is in the heart of everything. I've stretched it out a little bit that way, and I've stretched it out not that much this way. But it's literally in the heart of everything, and scale-wise, it's massive. And it makes sense. And it's changed a bunch, and it is what it is. So, I think now that because I think, see where that green thing is there? I think that was some sort of centralized post for something. And I was trying to think about that the other day, because when I came across it, I was like, oh, was that like the center of the borders? Because, speaking of having people like ask me to be like a tour guide, at one point I did have the ability for people to come on and sort of in spectator mode and look around and stuff like that. And I may get back to that point again, but probably not anytime soon. And so there was a world border at one point. I don't think there is anymore. And again, not paying a ton of money for the server. It's modded, and I'm getting away with it. The main reason why I do that is so that I can do this on the road and not have to back up a local copy, put it on my laptop, and then back it up, and then put it on my main computer. It's just the means for me to be able to do this from anywhere, which is nice. So that's kind of where everything is. It feels good to be talking into a microphone again. I can already tell that I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. So before that gets too out of hand, I think I'm going to call it quits and go from there. So if you're watching this after the fact, please, please, please leave just a simple comment of whether you're happy or not that I'm back, or if you have buildings that you want to see replicated potentially in this world. If it's an address, just copy paste the address in there, or the name of the building. Or, I mean, a lot of times if it's just the name of the building plus the city it's in, it's really easy to find. But if you want to include an address, we can take a look at that. There might be other things surrounding that building that might help make it fit better. I just got really lucky when I was doing, I bet it's all the chunks I loaded. That's why the laggy is laggy. The fact that these are really complementary to each other because they're already sort of taller buildings. And they have natural boundaries, like this has to be low, and so having a parking lot here doesn't feel as stark. And then here, obviously, it's got a parking lot because all of these parking lots are kind of servicing different things. You know, paved paradise, put in a parking lot. How American. And so, you know, if you have something that you want for me to put eyes on, I'm happy to. Nothing's set in stone here. I've moved these buildings around so much. This is a great example of that. I have moved that building right there 5 times now. 5 times now, and I've moved a couple others close to that amount. I think this one over here, that one right there, I've moved a couple times. I've moved that lighthouse. I think the warehouse and the lighthouse. If you have the word house as a part of your building name, you're probably going to get moved at least twice. So it is what it is. So that's going to do it for me. Appreciate every single one of you. And I really hope that you guys keep on keeping on. And we'll see if I keep on coming back. So until next time, this is JPT. Go play your games. And I'll be seeing ya.